Hello guys, welcome back to S3D. I haven't really had a chance to review this figure, but I have messed around with it quite a bit for the last couple days. It is a pretty incredible figure, but it's not without its flaws. Now, we're just gonna get into the problem I have with this figure right off the bat. So if you can look at the shoulders right here, these shoulder armor, you can see the seams. And this one looks like it's kind of splitting apart already, so that is definitely not good. Really though, honestly, you can see a lot of seam lines and mold lines right there on the forearm. That's not very good. And if you look into the joint, you can see the nubs right there. That's definitely not good. I don't know. It seems like I have seen the Ground Gundam too. Looks like they didn't do anything to fix these issues, so that's kind of problematic. Believe it or not, the Guncannon that I reviewed yesterday, that I uploaded yesterday, seems to have a better finish than some of these newer figures, which is kind of sad. That's a very simple figure, but still, it was originally released at like $25, and yeah, this guy is freaking close to $70. So yeah, the $25 figure that has better finish than the a $70 figure. Of course, this guy does have improved articulation in some areas. For example, the shoulders. This is not something I was expecting, but the shoulders can move in. But this is very typical Tamashii figures. Anyway, the Gundam has that feature. The RX-78 and all its variants have that. What's nice about this guy is when you move in the chest, you no longer have that gap like the RX-78, the infamous gap section. When you do the articulation for the chest, if you move in the chest, this center piece will kind of like pop off and you see a little gap. They fixed that with the new mode, and I think that's pretty good. The hips, I feel like they're going backwards with these hips. Really have a major issue with the design of these hips. Like with the Gunpla, it's not designed this way, but with the Tamashii figure, if I can even get my hands in here to lift up his front skirts, you can see. Alright, so you have this ball joint that's attached to a swivel. Basically a thigh cut that is embedded inside the thigh. Instead of having a perfect thigh cut like that, this thing is attached inside, so that actually hinders articulation. I know some Gunpla are like that too. They have the universal joint, and then it's covered by this armor piece. I think that could have been addressed, but I guess they're doing this for anime accuracy, I guess, sort of. Even though, most of the time, this piece section is gonna be hidden by the skirts. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. So his hips is like geriatric. Like, how do you say it? It's like a 95-year-old grandpa articulation when it comes to the hip. It cannot even do the splits. It can not even go very wide. So that kind of sucks. But then you're not expecting, something like this to do, martial art poses and stuff like that. So, yeah. Believe it or not, some Gundam Universe figures have better articulation in the hips than these newer Robot Spirits figure. And that's just me being fair. This is like pros and cons, right? Everything else is pretty good. The engineering for the rest of the figure, they address a lot of problems with the previous releases. The head can look up. We got that special articulation point on the back of the head. You can still see that seam line right under the back camera. I don't know why the back camera is not painted. There's just blank. I don't know if that's accurate or not, might not be accurate. Might have some problem here with maybe mine's missing the camera. See, you have the front camera, but you don't have the back camera. So what the heck is going on here? Well, that's a flaw I just realized. But the rest of it is pretty good. Obviously, you know, it's a pre-assembled figures. So, you know, all these seams and all that stuff is to be expected. I don't see a lot of nubs, if anything, other than the nubs that is hidden by the joints, inside the joints and stuff like that. There are significant mold lines, and the finish on it isn't perfect. Yeah, you know, some stuff they went forward, and some stuff they went backwards. But overall, you know, I still think this is the best mold they have introduced so far in this line. The articulation is great. The engineering is pretty decent. I just wish, you know, they can improve on the finish in the future, especially if they want to charge people like $70 for these figures. 60 plus. And then, you know, you pay your taxes and stuff like that, and then it's end up becoming like 70 something. And that is, you know, from a retailer that is very reasonable. I seen this figure go as high as $85 to $100 online. So, yeah, that's just my impression right now. I'll give you guys a review once, you know, I thoroughly play around with this figure. Because, yeah, I like it a lot. But, you know, I'm not going to fanboy you guys and just, you know, tell you guys that this is a perfect figure and everybody should go buy it. You guys should be aware of these problems. And hopefully, you know, Bandai can address these problems when they start doing the Blue Destinies, you know. I'm pretty sure the EZA is already in production. But if they're going to do the Blue Destinies, I wish that they would, you know, address some of these problems. Because, yeah, for a $70 figure, you know, you get, like, you got something like that. That is kind of ridiculous. I can't get over that. Look at that. That looks worse than Gunpla. Alright. That looks worse than like a $10 Gunpla, to be honest with you. Yeah. And I can't do anything about it. So, thanks for watching.